Today I've got a new video. This time it's for Cardfight Vanguard again, the Overdress series. We're going to be doing it on Diabolo's Violence Bruce today. Alright, this is obviously the grade 4 version. This really should have come out with the other ones, but we've been kind of busy lately. Obviously we'll start off with the ride deck. Innocent Matt, it's just a regular starter like everything else. An Overdress. Steve, when it is placed on Vanguard Circle, choose a card in your soul. This guy, call it to a rearguard and then soul charge 1. Alright. Next up we've got Anger Richard. When this is placed on Vanguard Circle, put a rearguard into your soul. This guy, and draw a card. And then last up is Bruce himself. This is the only copy of him we run in this deck, and well, we won't be using his skills as this focuses entirely on the grade 4 version. Although if you somehow get stuck on just grade 3 Bruce, here's his skills at the start of your ride phase. So this is the turn after you ride him. You enter Final Rush. Final Rush triggers a lot of different card effects in this deck, and you need to be in that to activate them. When this unit attacks, if you are in Final Rush, there you go. Soul Blast 5 and stand all your front row rear guards. Nice. Again, Bruce's effects will almost never come up because you will be upgrading to this one, Diabolo's Unrivaled Bruce. This is the grade 4. It's got the same Final Rush ability for its first ability, and then its other ability, which is basically a better version of this one. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, if you are in Final Rush, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 5, stand all your front row units, and this guy gets drive -2 for that attack. Pretty good. As I said, it's a straight up upgrade of this version. Through testing, I've gotten that ability off twice with this version of the deck. It's pretty good. Most of the time, you'll probably only be using it once, as you kind of want to finish the first time you enter Final Rush. Because, well, this deck isn't good at all in the early game, but it's also not really good in the late game, because, well, once you use your ability, you're Soul Blasting 5. That's unless you can build up the soul, which you can sort of do in this deck with how I've built it. You're going to have to just figure out how to get this off as many times as possible and without dying. So essentially, you want to use it, but you also don't want to waste stuff either. We've got the order card, Pandemonium Tactics. You can play this by counterblasting 1. You soul charge 4, and then if you are on Final Rush, you perform all the following abilities according to the number of cards in the soul. 6 or more, you draw a card. That one will almost always go off. 8 or more, all your front row units get plus 10k for the end of the turn. Nice. That one will also pretty much almost always go off. And then the big one, 12 or more, choose one of your Vanguards that gets critical +1 until the end of the turn. Yeah. That can sometimes go off if you, stack up enough soul. You almost never reach it, although when you do, it's nice. I would play more if I had more of these, so yeah. Diabolos Boys Eden. This is our next grade 2. Bruce's grade 2s are very good. This is Eden. If you're on Final Rush, this unit gets an extra 5k, and if this unit stood to a card's ability, it gets critical +1. And then, when this unit attack hits, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Pretty cool. This guy, when he came out, he shaped almost the entire game and turned Bruce into a tier 0 deck. That's kind of why I didn't pick up Bruce in the beginning. It was just straight up the best deck, and I'm not too fond of that unless I really like the deck. However, the way the deck is now, I do kind of like Bruce. Anyway, this is Leonard. Diabolus Jetbacker Leonard. If you are in Final Rush, this unit gets an extra 5k, and this unit would attack. It battles all of your opponent's units in a column. Very nice. When this unit's attack hits, you soul charge one, and if your Vanguard is a Diabolus Violence Bruce, the grade 3 version. This effect will almost never go off in this version of the deck, so we'll skip it. Although, I guess if you are stuck on the grade 3 Bruce, yeah, let's go over it. You need the grade 3 version to use this. You soul charge one, and then choose one card in your soul and call it to an open rearguard circle. Diabolus Striker Lyle. When this unit is placed on rearguard, counterblast one, and this unit gets 5k until the end of the turn. And if you are in Final Rush, you soul charge two and choose a card in your soul, call it to an open rearguard circle. Nice. This is Diabolus Returner Eugene. Joke, because that's a joke, because this is basically the same skill as Eugene from the Eugene deck. This is Diabolus Returner Derek. If you are in Final Rush, this gets 5k, yada yada yada. And then here's the Eugene skill, counterblast one, put a rearguard into your soul, choose up to one of your opponent's rearguards for every 4 cards in your soul, and retire them. Then, if you are in Final Rush, look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of your opponent's rearguard circles. Choose any number of units from among them and call them to rearguard circles. And then you put the rest in your soul. Alright. That's it for the grade 2s. Here's the 1s. Diabolus Madonna Regina. Let's see. Her ability is a once per turn. If you are in Final Rush, you counterblast one, put 2 other rearguards in the soul, choose a card from your soul, call it to an open rearguard circle, and that unit gets an extra 10k until the end of the turn. Alright. Protobulb Dragon. When this unit attacks or boosts, if you are in Final Rush, counterblast one, put another unit in your soul, choose a card from your soul, put it into your hand. Very nice. That's pretty cool if you get triggers in there, or if you get perfect guards, so you can get more cards to guard with. Monitoring Gear Doberman. At the end of battle, this unit boosted. If you are in Final Rush, put this unit into your soul, choose one of your other units, and it gets an extra 10k until the end of the turn. An interesting one I decided to add. Evil Eye of Prohibition Quinlu. This grade 1 is the ability, put this unit into your soul, choose one of your rear guards, and it gets 2k until the end of the turn. Then if your soul has 7 or more cards, your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards from their hand to the Guardian Circle for the battle of that rearguard attacks this turn. Pretty cool. I typically like to use that with Eden with his first attack, and then his second attack when he's restood by Bruce, he'll have a critical +1. So that's pretty cool. Of course, 4 perfect guards. This deck, I originally used to run 8 fronts. However, I decided to bring that down. I'll now have 4 criticals, 4 of the effect fronts, let's see, yeah. The 4 heals, the 3 draws, the effect draws, and of course the Dark States Overtrigger. Yeah. And that is about it for Bruce. I hope you enjoyed this video.